Welcome to another video from Portugal. So if you remember the last video, we were exploring Lisbon, which was quite crowded and busy. Now we came down to the Algarve, and here we are at one of my favorite beaches down here, which is Praia da Marinha. So I've been here 6 years ago, photographed it from up on the cliffs. So I already got quite some nice photos, which I'll show now. But this time I also want to explore a bit down here and maybe also check out some other coves, because there are quite a few here in the area. So we are staying in Benagil, which is a nice little town, and from there we can go by foot along the cliffs already to find some beautiful viewpoints, or drive maybe 10 minutes, maximum half an hour with the car to get to many different coasts. And in this video I'm gonna show you a few, and we're gonna try to come away with some photos as usual. And I'll also already show you now a few scouting photos which I took here at this beach now with a cell phone, same as with the first videos from Portugal. So the problem I'm having here for sunrise and sunset, currently there's high tide, so there are many areas which I can't get to because of the rocks which kind of block the way. So I'm gonna have to wait a few days. So we're here for 1 week, and I hope at some point those areas will be accessible around sunrise or sunset. But we're still gonna look at a few photos. So I took 3 photos which I think could look nice with some sea stacks, and let's see if those are worth it returning, or if I rather take some photos from up on the cliffs. So we'll see. But for now, just enjoy a moment, this beautiful view. It's also quite warm with the sun, but in the evening in December, even here it can get quite cold, but quite cold means like 10 or 12 degrees, so it's still manageable. So it's morning now, and I'm again at Praia da Marinha, and as you can see, I've decided to come up to the cliffs because currently the tide's still too high for the photo spots I had scouted yesterday. So I think in a few days I'll go down there to the beach. Also, if you look behind me, the sky is not that exciting, so I'm mainly here to just get into taking some photos again, because I took quite a time out of 2 days after Lisbon. So now I'm back at it, and it's a good exercise to just start at this viewpoint. As I showed you, I've taken my photos from here already, so currently I'm just looking for some other compositions, which I have to say is quite hard because I immediately came back to the same foreground which I had found 6 years ago. So it seems I did my homework back then, but here I also have quite a nice composition which I'm gonna show you. The photo will not be that exciting because of the light, but it's still with all those arches down there and then the sea stacks in the background. That's quite a nice view, and it's also a bit crowded, so there are a couple of other photographers here, and there's enough space, so nothing compared to Lisbon. So it's quite nice. And the next days or today we're gonna explore some other coves down into the direction of Albufeira, which I haven't been to yet, so I'm quite excited for that, just seeing what I can find there. It's also not that far, so I might return the next mornings and also see what else I can find here and show you everything. but now just enjoy the morning a bit. So the second morning shoot here on the Algarve, and I'm not on Praia da Marinha, which was the original plan. So yesterday, after the sunrise shoot there, which wasn't very good, I did a lot of scouting again, and I found this beautiful beach, which is maybe 30 minutes drive from where we're staying. And yeah, I just had to get here because just look at those rocks. They're not as big as on Praia da Marinha, but they're very beautiful with the holes in them. And the sun will be up in this direction, but yeah, as you can see by the thick clouds, there won't be much color, I fear. But what I did, I was here early, and I explained this a few videos ago in Acenas do Mar. If there are towns or cities nearby, what you can do if you're very early and the clouds are deep enough, those reflect the lights of the cities, and you still get a glow, and this is what I did. So I took some very long exposures, around 2 minutes. And yeah, I got some nice orange glow in the sky, and I'll show you in a second. Yeah, now I'm just waiting, so maybe the sun pops through. But anyways, what I wanted to show you, so here the water is still coming in quite high, and usually what happens if you have your tripod set up in sand, it will sink every time a wave gets in. In another video, which I'll link below, I explain how you can remedy it by just pushing your tripod very deep into the sand, maybe 10 centimeters. Then it will be very stable and won't move anymore. But what you can also do, if you have, like I have here some rocks, position it on the rocks and make sure it's really stable. And then when the waves get in, there's also no move. And yeah, this way I was able to do like 2-minute exposures with the waves rushing around me. And also this way, when it's not submerged in sand, I can quickly get it up if there is a high wave. Because you always have to be careful up the coast. You watch the water, it's always the same, and then every now and then there comes a higher wave and suddenly you're waist deep in the water. So always be careful of that, also with your gear. So put it somewhere high, not even, yeah, this high enough, or up on the beach. But then if you put it up on the beach, far up on the beach, because some waves get up very high, and yeah, then you return to a wet camera bag, and you don't want that. Okay, so enough talk now. I continue to take some photos. It's also looking nice with the moody sky now, and I'll also explore this beach a bit more and see if I can find some other compositions, because I think I'm gonna come back here a few more times. So I think this is my project now for the next days I'm here. I don't need many beaches to photograph, I just need one very good one. This is one, so I come here again and again, I think, until I get the perfect photo. So it's been a few days. Last days there was just blue skies, no cloud, so not very productive in terms of photography. Today it completely changed, so you see gray skies, which could also be bad for photography, depends, because in the background there's a little gap, so I'm still hoping that the sun will peek through there and light up those clouds. If not, well, I want to at least show you what I had in mind with that beach. So now we have low tide around sunset. It's still a bit higher than last time I was here because there's a lot of surf and the water's rushing in. but this could be nice if I have water rushing around those rocks. So that was kind of my idea. So moving close to those beautiful rocks here, also maybe those which are at an angle, then having this huge sea stack in the background, and yeah, the sun should be down somewhere there. So this is one option, finding some foreground interest in those rocks. So not like I'm filming now, moving a bit closer most likely. Also back there are more rocks, and I might also move a little bit closer to the sea to have water rushing in front of the lens of the camera. But yeah, what an awesome place. Yeah, would be a bit sad if it doesn't work out, but still, just being here, nearly no other people, so there's just one other car in the parking lot. That's also the good thing, off season plus such weather, really such places are empty then, and that's great. But yeah, now I'm gonna have to explore a bit, take the camera, move around, find some compositions as usual, and then yeah, hopefully we get some light. So I'm really struggling with finding a good composition today. I mean, the beach is just awesome, rocks everywhere. I could find foreground interest in any direction it seems, but then if you look closer, it's a bit overwhelming. So the light's in that direction, or will be, hopefully. Currently it's looking good. So I have to roughly take photos in that direction. It might change once the sun peeks through. I suddenly might be able to photograph in other directions, but still that's the main direction. So with that in mind, what I have to balance is those cliffs against this sea stack, and I moved now pretty close, so it works, but the problem is I don't have any water rushing in here. So I came here at low tide, but now I reckon a bit more water would be nice to flow around those. So the original plan was to have those sea stacks or rocks back there in the foreground, which works at low tide, but in terms of composition I think here's a stronger one, but yeah, without water it's a bit boring, so still have to see if I can make it work. Problem is when I move farther away, I always have to balance additional sea stacks, additional rocks. So this one comes into the frame, there's another one, and also the farther away I move, this cliff then falls down to the left side. So yeah, it's really a lot of variables which I have to balance here. And yeah, hopefully, and that's at least my hope, when the light's out, it will kind of guide me a bit. So yeah, let's see what happens. For now, I'll just stick around here and see what happens. So it's been now a few days, and finally the tide's low enough and I could get to Praia da Marinha, to one of the compositions I showed you. I have to be careful, tide's rushing in, so I have to make sure I can get back to the entrance of the beach later. But wow, what a place. I don't have the best light, so a few minutes ago there was some nice color in the sky, not that spectacular. I'm really hoping for the sun to pop through the clouds and light up this wall of the beach here, this rock wall. And yeah, what I've done here, you see, I positioned myself a bit elevated to make sure I keep dry, because there are some waves rushing in. Also, it's a nice composition with those rocks here on the side leading into the frame. Then we have a rock on the other side, the sea stack, and then those cliffs in the background. So all in all, I think it's quite a balanced composition, but still, as usual, I have to look at it on the big screen. For now, I have to really focus on the sea, on taking photos, and I will not film so much because, yeah, as I said, tide's rushing in. There are a lot of waves today, and I don't want to lose my camera gear. So yeah, hopefully I'll have a photo to show you now from this beach, and we can finish this chapter. I'm now back at the entrance of the beach. I think I got a good photo, but what I want to quickly talk about is the tides again. So I already talked about it. It's important to know the tides to be able to determine which locations you can take photos of, which photos work. It's also very important for safety. For example, let's look at this beach. If you look here, you see my footprints where I was walking around, but what you'll also see, the last high tide in the evening, how far up it came. Basically up until here, and now there's the cliff, and I was taking photos at the end of this beach, so 500 meters down there. And if I don't know the tides, I go there, low tide, tides coming in. I don't know the tides coming in because I didn't look at an app or something. I can get lost taking photos, and then suddenly I'm caught by the tides and I can't get back. So always make sure to check the tides. I use an app called Now Tide. There's also the freestyle tides for fishing, which is very good. You can get very long forecasts there, and it tells you how much the difference is between low and high tide. For example, here at the Algarve, it's not that much. It's like 2 to 3 meters, but there are places where it can get up to 12 meters. So you really want to know the tides. And also when you get to a beach in the morning, also have a look. The last high tide, since then nobody usually walked at the beach, so you can see where the tide line is, and then check the tide if it's coming in, and you'll know if you can get stuck at your shooting position. So always think about this, not just focusing on photos, take photos at low tide, always think about your safety. And with that, I think I close this video now. Today we are headed up to Lisbon again for another few days of photographing the coast there, and then it's back to Germany for 2 weeks just around Christmas, and the next destination is already booked. I'm not yet telling you where it is. It will be much more exotic, and see you then.